Data, people. It's all about the data. This little video is going to be about Excel and how you can set it up so that you can record your results from your student experiment straight into Excel in a way that they can generate the necessary graphs and statistics so that you can copy those straight into your report. I'm a big fan of labeling everything so that I can find it. And I'm also a big fan of making sure that all my tables and the headings and everything I need to do are correct in Excel. And I can copy them straight into my Word report. It just makes it so much easier. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to right click on sheet 1 and I want to rename it because I am going to have raw data and it's going to be continuous. So on this spreadsheet, we're going to have a look at how to set up your raw data if you have got a continuous independent variable and you have got a continuous dependent variable. You don't have to start right over there in the corner. I like to start my tables a little bit in. It just gives me the space to add information or to add bits and bobs that I've forgotten later. But first of all, let's give a description to my fake experiment. My fake experiment collecting continuous data is going to be the effect of temperature on the concentration of dissolved oxygen in emerald lakes on water. So here is my independent variable and here is my incorrectly spelt dependent variable. Let me just quickly fix that. Concentration, there we go. Now there's one thing that's missing and that's the units. So temperature, which is also incorrectly spelt because I was in a hurry, we're going to measure in degrees centigrade. Now lots of students take a shortcut and they just put a capital C or they'll put 0C or OC. Those are not correct, or even worse, the little arrow upwards, little arrow darting upwards. You can't do that. It's going to affect your communication grade. So you must learn to do a superscript and a subscript. They're not hard, they're just annoying. So let's go. I'm going to put a bracket. You'll find the superscript and subscript over here. If anybody knows a shortcut, I'd love to know. If you click on that little arrow, it brings up this drop-down box. We want a superscript, that means a bit of writing above. I clicked on that, press OK. Now you can see when I add O, it's actually made it as a degree. Centigrade, the C shouldn't be a degree, so we've got to click on that again and take it away. Now we can put in our capital C and we are sweet. We also don't have the concentration, the units of concentration for the dissolved oxygen. For my experiment, I'm going to be measuring it in milligrams per litre. So I'm going to put that in there. That's my little experiment that we're going to do. If your independent variable is continuous and your dependent variable is continuous, you want to make sure that you set it up so that your independent variable is on the left. It doesn't have to be right up there in the A row, it can be anywhere. So I'm going to put it there. That leaves me a little bit of space. So this is going to be my independent variable, which is the temperature. And it is in degrees centigrade. And it has not done what I want, but I am going to wrap the text and I will go back and fix this little guy up. Here we go. Got the temperature. I should actually add the water temperature, because really I could be measuring the air temperature. So let me do that while I'm thinking about it. We've got water temperature. Okay, so there's my water temperature in degrees centigrade. Now, when you do your planning, you will have planned the scope of your experiment. That means what would, in this case, it would be what is the lowest temperature, what is the highest temperature, and what are going to be the temperatures in between. That's the scope. And you would also have planned how many repeats you're going to do. And remember that that scope and the repeats are important for earning a grade for having sufficient data. So you want to make sure you've got sufficient data. I do not necessarily have sufficient data in my fake investigation, but I've noticed at Emerald Lakes there's a very cool shady spot, and I know that the water is colder as you go down deep. So I've gone out ahead of time and I have measured the temperature in various places at the one pond in Emerald Lakes, and I know that the lowest temperature of the water is 18. You'll notice that I only put a number in here. I don't put any letters or anything else, because when it comes to asking Excel to interpret the numbers, if you've got anything except numbers, it's not going to be able to handle them. Now, in my wisdom, I've decided I need 5 repeats. I'm not going to write 18 5 times. I'm just going to click on that and I'm going to drag it down 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I've got 5 18s. So I'm ready to put the concentration of dissolved oxygen at 18 degrees, sample 1 there, sample 2 there, sample 3 there, sample 4 there, and sample 5 there. Easy as. There's another place at Emerald Lakes where it's quite sunny, and the deeper water, I know that the temperature is 20 degrees. And again, I've got to keep the number of samples the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And another place has got 22 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's a place where it's really, really sunny. I need one more of those. A place where it's really, really sunny and the temperature of the water goes up to a whopping 24 degrees. So there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so I've got my temperatures in there, and I am ready to put my independent variable in. Remember, the independent variable is the concentration of the dissolved oxygen. We can just copy that off there and pop that into that block there. Make it pretty by wrapping the text and giving it a capital. And it's almost ready to be cut and paste once we've got some values in here straight into my report. I think it's nice to have some borders around a table, because this is going to be a table. So I'm going to add those by highlighting where I want my borders. I click up here on number and I go border, outline, inside, OK. And now I've got a nice table that I can fill in my results. There's one thing missing from this table, and that's the heading. If you think about your headings ahead of time, you have less to worry about when you're doing your final write-up. So remember that it's a table. The heading goes above, and we label it table. In my case, it's table 1. Needs to have a number, and it needs to have a full heading that describes the independent and the dependent variable, Now, I'm not a fan of doing things over and over, so I am just going to copy that and put it in there. I need to add temperature of water. It's in degrees centigrade on the concentration. There we go. So I have got a beautiful table with a few spelling errors. And again, my formatting has not copied through, so I need to fix that. But basically, we're good to go. So there you have it.